For traditional print media, the 2007 recession combined with pre-existing industry conditions was a perfect storm. Reporters, journalists, and editors faced uncertainty and job loss. The weblog, or blog, was becoming the new foot soldier in the world's frontline fight for information and news, despite the fact that most blogging was done for free in the absence of a clear working business model. In the midst of this firestorm, Nick Denton's Gawker Media, home to dozens of websites like Gawker, Gizmodo, and the now-absorbed celebrity Defamer, scrambled to figure out how to not just stay afloat, but to actually achieve serious growth. His core strategy was shedding excess staff, retaining the most talented team, and cherry-picking some newly available talent from other online sources of great writers.
We saw how something which starts with a market correction can become a traumatic downturn that kills a lot of businesses. And so we reacted very rapidly to the first signs of trouble in 2008. And you could argue that we overreacted.
With the main revenue source of such websites being advertising, Gawker made sure that the staff they employed earned as much cash as was feasible. Rather than laying off significant numbers, Gawker sold a few underperforming sites. That reduced payroll and increased capital at the expense of closing a few market channels.
That we were planning very much for the worst, and the worst did happen for some sectors and for some companies in the media environment, but not for us. And so, rather than those cost-cutting measures being required for survival, which is what we thought, they ended up being measures that gave us profit margins that we hadn't previously experienced.
Thus, and somewhat ironically, Gawker found itself laying off some personnel while simultaneously hiring for its better-performing core brands.
Starting probably in about 2006, we started to feel, particularly as we built up the advertising sales, that we started to feel that too much of our energy had been devoted to sites which maybe weren't going to make it, and that we'd been maybe a little bit too casual in the sites that we launched. And so, starting actually well before the downturn, we began rationalizing. So, for every site that we would launch, we would close or consolidate or sell another site. Unfortunately, I think we've developed enough of a reputation of investing in our winners and shuttering or reducing our bets on our losers. We developed enough of a reputation for that, and that it's seen as being the normal course of business.
Gawker's aggressive reputation for big media skills with an upstart's rebelliousness has attracted talent as edgy as its reviews and criticisms. Gawker doesn't own a job site, but they're well placed to attract web-savvy talent through other online services.
One of the most attractive elements of the web is interaction with readers. And a surprising number of those readers also have writing potential. One of the best sources of talent that we found is actually in the comments themselves of the Gawker sites. Ryan Tate and Richard Lawson of Gawker.com both were discovered through the comments. For somebody to have commented, it shows interest in the subject matter of the site. It shows ability to master the tone of the site. It shows a willingness to interact, which a lot of traditional writers from newspapers actually don't have. And so some of our most successful hires have come from that environment. It provides us with a farm team of talent that we can tap.
To weather a perfect storm, sometimes you cut ballast, and sometimes you batten the hatches.
I think we've probably gone too far in that direction. We've become a little bit too conscious of the costs and the short-term commercial viability of each site. And I'd like to think that now we're kind of swinging back a little bit to our earlier days when we were more able and more willing to take risks and to start a new site on a whim.